Greetings, this is Doc from Bikers Against Trafficking, and this is part 2 of our kind of beginning series on human trafficking. And we know from part 1, right, that research says that human traffickers are using the internet a lot more. And as they scan the social media sites, they're looking for vulnerabilities. So the University of Toledo and a few other organizations posted some of the ways that people are finding those vulnerabilities. So here are what the traffickers are looking for online. When a kid or teen doesn't feel understood and emphasizes that nobody gets me, you don't really know me, right? And they express it, a trafficker will try to meet that and tell them that, look, I understand you. When a kid is saying, look, I'm not feeling loved, or I'm sick of being single, or I wish someone around me would care for me, right? The trafficker will wiggle their way in and somehow let them know that they love them, that they care about them. When the vulnerable person says, I'm not feeling beautiful, I want you to like my body and my looks and think I'm desirable. OMG, I'm so ugly. How do I look? Check out my new pics. What do you think? When they're desperate for affirmation, right? The trafficker swoops in and says, I think you're beautiful. I'll encourage you to show your body, use your body. There are beautiful elements to your body, mind, and spirit. The trafficker will take wherever the vulnerability is and expound upon it and expose it and use it. If the vulnerable person says, my life is not going well, it's not fulfilled, my life sucks, everyone in my life can go to hell, is this all there is to life? The trafficker swoops in and says, I'll make your life better. When the vulnerable person says, I don't have friends, family who care, I'm not connected to anyone, she's not my true friend, if you're not going to support me, unfriend me, I don't need you anymore. If they're desperate for connectivity, the trafficker will come in and say, I'll be your best friend. If the vulnerable person says, I want to be treated like an adult, I want my independence, I want to take risks, my parents don't trust me, I'm being treated like a kid, the trafficker will swoop in and say, I'll encourage you to take risks. You're an adult, you deserve freedom, you deserve independence. If the vulnerable person says, I'm scared, I need to get out of here, someone save me, the trafficker swoops in and says, I'll protect you. If the vulnerable person says, I want to be successful, I wish there was a way to make quick money, I need to step up my game and make real money, the trafficker will swoop in and says, I'll make you successful. You know, I'm on TikTok, right? And I have, I don't know, close to 7,000 people, right? We do mental health little blurbs on TikTok. And I see all the time people saying, look, I made this much money posting my pictures, or look, here's how you can get out of debt, or here's the job, or I get to travel and do this. They make it seem, right, amazing. But that's the hook, right? The trafficker comes in and wants to paint the picture that life is amazing, but it's not. When you sell your soul, there's pain. And those vulnerable people, desperate for some sort of attention, right? The trafficker comes in and hooks them. If the vulnerable person says, I'm not confident, I don't know what to do, is this right? I don't know who I am. The trafficker slowly comes in and says, trust in me. I'll encourage you. I'll encourage you. They are looking for and trying to prey on those that are vulnerable. Now, there's lots of sites, and I'm just going to list some that traffickers use, and you may be aware of all of these, and they change all the time. But as of right now, here's the ones we can find. So Facebook and Instagram, right? You post photos to your profile, you can comment on the photos, and you can receive private messages. You can also build a second account, and that's the danger, right? Whether they're called Finstagrams or fake accounts, it's those fake accounts that a lot of people will use to really communicate, and they'll have this official looking account to make it seem like they're doing everything okay. But there's Snapchat, and you have to be careful because Snapchat is picture messaging and posting publicly, and they disappear after being opened, right? And there's private messaging and video functions to it. There's Tinder, which is a dating app to chat with people. They match you. There's private messaging to communicate, meet, and date. There's Blender, which is a dating app with private chat and GPS location to loosely locate other people. There's WhatsApp, which is an encrypted messaging app where service providers do not keep copies of the messages. There's Kik, which is a messaging app that is not connected to a phone number. Messages are not saved or accessed outside of the chat. There's Chat Roulette, like chat roulette, right? Where It's a webcam with strangers individually. Users can rotate through multiple strangers and a webcam with a private chat box. So it adds risk, and you have to be really careful with it. Omegle, which is a webcam with strangers individually. There's City X Guide, which is classified escort site with advertisement. There's Skip the Games, which is an escort site with individuals advertising services. There's BedPage, which is a new website after Backpage was shut down. It's an escort site, kind of like classifieds. There's seekingarrangement.com for dating and sugar daddy stuff. There's sugarbabies.com, which is advertising that you want to have a John or a sugar daddy. There's Yik Yak, which is an anonymous posting with comment section and GPS location to identify where users are within a certain radius, so it's really dangerous. There's Whisper, which is an anonymous posting with the ability to comment and private message anonymously. There's Yellow, which is a dating friends app with youth with a swipe function like Tinder for kids. There's Number One Chat Avenue, which is a chat room for kids or strangers. There's Monkey, which is a webcam with strangers for a limited amount of seconds. You have to imagine, right, that grooming can occur on any messaging app or site. Convincing someone to send a risky picture and then extorting it, right? It doesn't just affect kids. I have many clients and many people we work with that as adults got roped into things that you would think they would never have done. But in a weak moment, they do something that makes them vulnerable. I found people that were in a big room in a glass house being forced to have sex. People that have sent a picture thinking it was cool and that picture gets used against them because of their business. You have to understand the internet has changed the way people get trafficked. You have to be aware. So when your kids are using the internet or using apps, you have to be aware. You can't take it for granted, right? Every kid thinks they're smarter than the average trafficker, that this is not going to happen to me. But I can tell you the story after story after story when it did. And people thought, there's no way I thought it could happen to me. So we have to be aware. Be aware of the apps, be aware of what's going on, be aware of the dangers that are there. Together, we can stop, we can eradicate human trafficking, but we have to be aware. Doc out.